Hello, so we've got a question from Christian. Top 5 things you need to consider when looking at SEO for your website. So I will attempt to answer that, which is, it's a very broad question. But these are the things that I would ask a prospective client to see if SEO is right for them in the first place and find out what their objectives are. So, number one is, can you rank for it? And by this, I mean, we get clients turn up and they'll say, we want to rank for men's shoes, for example. And if they're a startup business, I would say to them, well, let's look in Google and look at the top 10 results or even the top 20. Are you capable of dislodging ASOS, House of Fraser, River Island, Marks and Spencer, and all of these other, really big brand names? It's a very tough competitive market. So if you can't move those out, then you can't rank for it. So you need to set your objectives differently. What is your unique sales point? And understand that before you start on sort of any SEO work. This is really the key to that SEO work. Is it possible? How broad can we go, or how narrow and focused and niche do we need to be? So that is my sort of number one thing that I would look at. Number two is quite similar, but it's, why should Google rank you? You need to be competitive in your offering as well. So you might be working in a fairly niche marketplace and think, yes, well, these businesses are very similar to mine, and we should be there or thereabouts on page one. But if their prices are lower than yours, if they have a larger range of offering or services than you do, then Google might choose them before you, because it offers better value to their customers. Somebody who's making that search wants to be given a wide range of opportunities at a good price. Or perhaps if you're, in the service industry, is your expertise as good as those other businesses? And have you demonstrated that on your website? Can you demonstrate that? So, this is a core part of why Google will rank some businesses above the other, even when, other things seem quite equal. Is there unique and original content on your website as well, adding value to those products and services that you're offering? Because if there isn't, Google aren't going to rank you. So that's certainly a part of your SEO strategy, is to look at these things. And sometimes that means turning to the business and saying, you need to bring more products online, because at the moment everybody else has 100 products, you've got 10. Are you going to be competitive? No, you're not. And SEO isn't going to fix that. It's a business fix that you need, or you need to price, match or compete really well, to get certain products ranking. Number three is trust. So this has become a really big issue for Google, sort of, I guess, in the last 5 years, maybe even longer, but they're ramping it up more and more. Is, yes, you've got a website, but are there any external indicators to tell Google that you're reliable? Are there any reviews? Have you got any backlinks? Have you got any accreditations and links from, say, a government site, even Companies House and all of those kind of things? If they can't find a digital footprint for you outside of your domain, then how do they know that you're not just going to take somebody's money and run? So trust is massive. That whole security of paying for something online and knowing that this is a reliable business, the goods will turn up and people actually like the service that you've got to offer. Not so big, I guess, for say somebody who's producing news content. But in terms of trust, you're then looking at, well, who are you to write an opinion piece about something? Is there anybody linking to you who respects your opinion? Can I find the author of this piece of content, and what is their, expertise in the area? What's their educational background and their work history and so on? So you need to build this up as well. So definitely a huge factor is certainly in sort of the medical space, pharmacies and so on. But anywhere where you spend money as well, trust is big as a ranking factor, I believe, and you need to be able to build that. It is part of your SEO strategy, but where are you at with it right now, and how can it be improved? Would be one of the questions that I would ask. Number 4, UX. So if your website is dated, if it's a bit broken, if you go to a checkout and some of the payment options don't work, for example, on a browser or on mobile, then these things are a signal to Google as well. If people are going to broken pages, it's a bad user experience, and why would Google want to send anybody there whatsoever? So if your website is old and potentially broken, then I wouldn't necessarily start with SEO. I would want to get that fixed. I might get somebody in from SEO to oversee the new website, but if you've not got that investment capability, then trying to promote something to Google that's a bit broken, it's not going to work. So definitely important to be able to say, yes, I've got a reliable website, and it's good offers a good user experience. And number 5 is spend. You can't do SEO cheaply. But I guess that depends on how niche your marketplace is. But generally speaking, you need to invest in SEO to make it work, because your competitors will be doing so. And if they are outspending you, then there's a good chance that they are going to outperform you as well. So it's just like with anything else, with marketing, with Google Ads, you buy those clicks, and it depends how much you're prepared to spend and invest in that, into how much coverage you're going to get. So it's also, I guess, important that if you are a startup, I think especially for startups, that whilst you might spend a little on SEO right at the beginning just to make sure things are set up right, that an ongoing spend with SEO really might not be right for you, because you need a return on investment, especially early doors with a new business. So can that be spent elsewhere to build your brand through social media and things like that? That's probably, or quite possibly, a better way to spend the budgets that you have, because you don't want to go into SEO thinking that you can spend just a small amount each month and really keep up with everybody else and make an impact. And if you're not making an impact with your spend, then you are just wasting your money. So, it's an important one to be able to go out and say, yes, we're committed to SEO and we have a decent budget to make a run at this. So I guess those are my top 5 things that I would think about before engaging with SEO, really, and each of them feeds into SEO itself. So yeah, hopefully that was useful.